My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system, which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. Erica Lorraine Spencer here. The following is an audio version of video evidence that is captured for purposes of mass distribution, which is why I am capturing it and sharing it on the podcast for evidentiary purposes and also to reveal the wealth of documentation that extends beyond what it is that I document on podcasts. Much of the video and images will be published onto the YouTube channel, the P.O.C, and it is also shared on the Google Drive. Again, this is for purposes of revealing what I remain subject to, which is federal group stalking and monitoring. It is a demonic system of state surveillance that the government is practicing in concert with the people of the state, and it should be known and well understood that for the government to engage in federal group stalking and monitoring, this is a crime that is committed with a criminal purpose to threaten the life of an American citizen. This is to conspire to murder and or permanently kidnap an American citizen while engaging in a perpetual sex offense in concert with the people of the state. There's the fake sun. And Ontario Police is gang stalking. And you need to understand it's gang stalking. The Ontario Police Department is gang stalking while they're violation of Violence Against Women Act under Section 34 U.S.C. Which is what I'm taking screenshots of. I'm capturing the fake sun that's here at before 8:30 in the morning, and it's still here, as you see in my images yesterday, after 4 o'clock in the afternoon, where the Ontario Police are monitoring while my panties are down. That conduct flying over does not sound inside of the bathroom, but that's exactly what they did yesterday. I was in the bathroom. These are demons, so I'm showing you what they're doing in the natural and the demonic activity that's created in the bathroom. So while this fake sun was still over this building, like you saw in the video yesterday, and at 2:52 in the afternoon, the Ontario Police Department are gang stalking, monitoring, committing a sex offense and violence in violation of 34 U.S.C. Violence Against Women Act, while they're engaged in federal stalking. And what the state is engaged in under a fake sun is speaking to what the people of the state are engaging in as an entity, and it is in violation of 34 U.S.C. and also the timing. They're flying over right now because what I am documenting on my phone about their criminal engagement and what is a sex offense in violation of the Violence Against Women Act. This is a HUD regulated property, so everyone's losing their housing benefits, and they're doing so in concert with Tracy Banks, who's inside threatening me in concert with the police who are flying over her apartment, where the fake sun is remaining over her apartment, where engineered lights remains inside of her apartment, and she's walking in engineered light monitoring right now, like she does on a 24-hour basis when she remains a part of the criminal pattern of conduct. She's going to a mental asylum, and everything that she is doing is criminal harassment by the state. All right, AVANATH Capital Management is engaged in the violation of the Violence Against Women Act. They're a gang stalking landlord. Their employees, their residents, and the population itself, including the government, is engaged in the sex offense of gang stalking, and they're also doing so in violation of what is the constitutional rights that the government does not have to keep you under surveillance. They also don't have the right to do so in concert with the people of the state. All right, this is there you go. Linda Reyes gang stalking. Okay, under the fake sun, you saw her crossing path at 10 o'clock in the morning, where this fake sun remains all day long. She's monitoring with the Ontario Police Department. She's going to federal prison. All right, this is AVANATH Capital Management that's civilly and criminally liable, and she's also engaged in federal stalking. She knows what I was uploading on my phone. The police are flying over with simultaneity. She's in relevant position under the fake sun. Okay, and this is a sex offender that's monitoring my genitalia. AVANATH in concert with a sex offender monitoring my genitalia, and she's having a breakdown. She paces around inside of the apartment. She opens and closes the door in order to let engineered light in. Remember, this is a demon that's criminally monitoring in the engineered light that you see piercing through the peephole that remains over this building all day long, that is never over Alvarado Gardens, where the Los Angeles Police Department are flying around the fake sun at 8:30 in the morning yesterday. Okay, that's not sunlight, and this is not the sun. This is showing the pattern of conduct that a landlord's engaging in. Linda Reyes is monitoring right now, pacing with the people of the state, with the Ontario Police. She's going to federal prison, just like I already stated, and so is everybody in units 33 through 64. All right, that's federal stalking under Title 18. It's Section 34 U.S.C. regarding the Violence Against Women Act. And they're all losing their housing based on that. And the landlord themselves, AVANATH Capital Management, is going to be criminally and civilly liable for it. They're going to be prosecuted, and their employees are going to prison. All right, it is currently, again, 8:35 a.m., where this fake sun remains here for the duration of the day, where the people of the state are yelling for me to stop recording, which is audible activity, is hostile and harassment. This is criminal obstruction. She's going to a mental asylum, but they all speak as one. The demon that you see gang stalking in the middle of the afternoon while this fake sun is still over this apartment, don't forget what I documented at 1:55, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. When she walks to the parking lot, the demon with license 5 WUB 715, she does so on behalf of the government that just gang stalked in a helicopter. She does so on behalf of AVANATH Capital Management that's stalking, engaged in surveillance, monitoring in a private space, in the path, under the light source, in concert with the government, monitoring on communication devices with the sex offender that's inside of the apartment. In engineered light, using her communication device to maintain activity, stalking in the path. All right, and doing so with impunity. 8:36 a.m., there's no sun that's going to be over Alvarado Gardens, like I documented the Los Angeles Police Department doing the same exact thing that the Ontario Police Department. You need to recognize what is demon possession, because this is it. Gang stalking your own daughter, conspiring to murder her, thinking that you at 60 plus years old are going to replace her, steal her identity, steal her property, defame her character, and kidnap with the very same Ontario Police Department. That's why she's going to a mental asylum. This is malice and an ongoing threat to my life, okay? While the entity is gang stalking through Tracy Banks, this is impunity of a psychopath that's obsessed with my genitalia. All right, and this is the federal government that's going to raid this property. They're all going to prison, and Tracy Banks is as well, conspiring with the state to murder and kidnap me. That's the purpose of her gang stalking me. It is, again, 8:36 a.m. This is P.O.C. This is just to document ongoing obstruction. So as I document gang stalking by the police and I capture screenshots, the ongoing use of the communication device is Title 18. The demon in unit number 55 is stalking in the path with amplified audible activity. The Ontario Police Department flyover again, amplifying helicopter inside of the unit. The fake sun is over the same apartment building where it remains after 4 p.m. as I've already captured the fake sun through these blinds after 4 p.m. And they're doing so while I'm capturing the documentation. So this is a demon that's pacing in engineered light. This is a demon that's monitoring while amplified noise sounds inside of the apartment. This is a demon that's monitoring in front of the world, showing what domestic terrorism looks like when you target your daughter, thinking that you're going to sacrifice her to Satan and murder her while conspiring to steal her own property, criminally defaming while psychologically torturing. That's why she's going to a mental asylum. And absolute severe mental instability is exhibited by acting like nothing is happening, like she doesn't hear me doing as well. But she also knows if she says anything, she's going to federal prison because it's a threat by the state. So I just want to be clear. It's currently 8:46 a.m. The demon in Unit 55 directly above, gang stalking with her, is amplifying pacing conduct, helicopter again sounds, and this is because I'm capturing screenshots. All right, and so this is the entity that utilizes psychological torture. All the elements of monitoring are underway right now. But she's gang stalking with the entity, Woodside Senior Apartments, and the city of Ontario while she's in the kitchen pacing around. And this is a psychopath. This is a demon that's actually in a frenzy right now and is engaging in all this activity creation as I stepped outside and got the video. And don't forget, you see Ontario Police gang stalking it in that helicopter at the same exact time that the Los Angeles Police Department are gang stalking flying around the fake sun that's over Alvarado Gardens in Los Angeles, where you're going to prison. She's going to a mental asylum, but you're going to prison by default for gang stalking where you're living at the crime scene. Linda Reyes is gang stalking with the residents. This is speaking to AVANATH Capital Management that's gang stalking with the state through its residents, through its employees, and through in concert with the government. And they engage in psychological torture and harassment as I document it because they're monitoring on my device. This is where federal stalking under Title 18 is underway. This is the same demon that has employed heavy criminal defamation in the corrupt courts in California. While she is engaged in psychological torture, she's engaged in the massive sex offense of monitoring my genitalia in the bathroom. She's engaged in profiting off of publicizing my nudity unbeknownst to me, without my consent, gang stalking me with the police that are flying over her apartment. And she acts with the viciousness, the bloodthirsty behavior of a psychopath that wants to murder and kidnap someone. This is not going to be accomplished. This is me prosecuting Satan that is using Tracy Banks. Gang stalking with everybody on her phone. She's using what is music as a means of audible activity. And the demon above is pacing. And the demons that are the Ontario Police and the Ontario International Airport. Again, that is before 8:48 a.m. as I'm capturing screenshots. And those are going to be published right now to the Google Drive. So you'll see the times as I'm showing you the timestamps. The Ontario Police is flying over while she's pacing in Engineer Light. The Ontario International Airport is pacing, and this demon in Unit 55 is helping her while they're gang stalking together. And this is because the demons are angry as you document them. So I just want to, what she is in fact walking in and monitoring in. This is dealing with mental illness that's a threat to your life. This is Engineer Light that's piercing through the apartment. You already know that. While you're walking inside and walking around, this is a demon. This is demonic activity. All right. Demonic possession does not run in the bloodline. So this demon's going to be locked up in a mental asylum, but her demon possession is the reason why she's tried to murder and kidnap, and she's engaged in sexually violating her own daughter. All right. This is the Engineer Light that's appearing on the wall. She's monitoring in here. All right. It's piercing through the peephole. She is monitoring with the Ontario who fly over again to communicate a threat. All right, this is not normal light activity where you're playing music in the Engineer Light. It is the activity creation, and this is, again, I will show you the Engineer Light that's piercing through the peephole while you're monitoring. So this is what she's pacing in, okay? This is what she's playing music to, the elements of light activity, relevant positioning, audible activity. While the demons are gang stalking in commercial planes, that's the Ontario International Airport. The demons that are gang stalking in helicopter, that's the Ontario Police Department. Mike Lorenz, who was obsessed with my genitalia in concert with Tracy Banks. This is not a mother. This is not flesh and blood. This is not natural behavior. This is demon possession that is a threat to the lives, a threat to national security, where the state of California is conspiring against American citizens. This is what Tracy Banks has committed. She's conspired to murder and kidnap me, and I'm literally prosecuting her while she is a threat. But I want to be clear, I'm prosecuting what is a demon-possessed third party who is, every time that she lives in this unit. So when she walks out, she doesn't cease to be a part of the P.O.C. She gang stalks with the people at Woodside Senior Apartments who are engaged in 24-hour psychological torture in Engineer Light. This is the Engineer Light that she's making her breakfast in, playing what is a rap music in, while the people of the state are gang stalking like Linda Reyes, walking all around, gang stalking. The fake sun is over the apartment building where it remains until the end of the day. And it also, the entity is gang stalking by plane and helicopter because they're monitoring on my phone, and they employ psychological torture, threats, intimidation, a threat to your life, literally while the gang stalker is in the apartment with me and the gang stalkers surround outside of the apartment because I'm documenting them on this device, which is federal stalking. It is also simultaneously violating criminal interference with the quiet enjoyment, while a resident of the unit is violating another adult occupant, which is what I am. And with regard to violating under stalking me, you are gang stalking inside of the apartment. This is unprecedented criminal conduct that will intersect with what is the Violence Against Women Act. And they are also doing so with the government that's stalking. All right. So this is concerted conduct, and I want to make sure I document this. It's currently 8:51 a.m. Remember, this was literally Providence. While the Ontario Police are flying over, the fake sun is here, right over the same building where it remains all day long. The fake sun remains over this building, and the Los Angeles Police Department did the exact same thing yesterday at 8:31 in the morning in 2024. So the specific environment that's present in 2025 at 8:31 a.m. is the same specific environment, and that's because I haven't left. If I was at the Hesperia Holiday Inn, then that's where the fake sun would be, and that's what my documentation shows. With regard to prosecuting the malicious entity that is targeting American citizens, where it is shown through that specific environment that defies nature. There's no sun. The natural environment consists of a sun that's not going to be stationary over Alvarado Gardens for the duration of the day, and also simultaneously there is necessarily another sun because it's sitting over Woodside Senior Apartments all day long. And what is so spectacular about the evidence is that the Ontario Police Department at the same down to the same minute 2024 at 8:31 a.m. LAPD is gang stalking around the fake sun over me in LA, and the Ontario Police Department is gang stalking around the fake sun that's over me in Ontario, California. And the Ontario Police are doing so pursuant to their criminal monitoring of everything that's happening on my device, and they do so with the criminal aid of the people of the state. Legally speaking, AVANATH Capital Management is gang stalking. They're going to be prosecuted also under the Violence Against Women Act, okay, 34 U.S.C. It is currently, again, 8:52 a.m. This is documentation of what is, again, after you document the psychopaths, the sex offenders, the demons, then they employ the same P.O.C, but it's for the criminal purpose of obstruction of justice. So then the pacing above, which is amplified in volume, is occurring because I'm publishing and capturing screenshots. Then the helicopter activity is occurring pursuant to the P.O.C for the criminal purpose of obstructing justice. This is the Ontario Police Department of the City of Ontario, Paul Leon, Michael Renz, and every demon-possessed gang stalker of the Ontario Police, now using helicopters, spending thousands of dollars to obstruct justice to stop me from reporting them to the feds. And they're doing so with the demon that's pacing an engineer light inside of her kitchen. That's the malice with which you conspire to murder and kidnap your own daughter. This is a sex offender that's obsessed with my genitalia, not a mother. She's a sex offender. And she engages in the sex rituals. She is a closeted prostitute. She is a nymphomaniac. This is a Jezebel spirit that's engaging in criminal activity. I'm going to prosecute Satan that's using Tracy Banks. She's going to sit in a mental asylum for the criminal conspiracy to murder and kidnap via gang stalking and psychological torture. And it is literally where this is, you're going to prison for this, okay? Linda Reyes is in relevant position. This is employing the AVANATH Capital Management property themselves. All right, you'll see the screenshots going to be uploaded. As I'm capturing those screenshots, this is where the demon is pacing, amplified pacing, like you heard on video in the middle of the afternoon, where this fake sun is still here. This is what she's doing 24/7, and doing so while this demon, Tracy Banks, is pacing an engineer light that you can see on the wall into the depths of the apartment. That's not sunlight. That's speaking to malice. That's speaking to understanding and recognizing demons who are monitoring, and it's a threat, and it's psychological torture. It's a threat to your safety, by the way, while I'm surrounded by a demon that is monitoring me with the police. That has been conspiring to kidnap me for years, has engaged in criminal defamation, and that's why the Ontario Police is being disbanded. They've engaged in kidnapping and criminal defamation while they're psychologically torturing at the same time. You're doing that with regard to gang stalking with the intent to kidnap and murder someone. So they want to torture you, torment you, and then try to paint you as crazy, to put it in very simplified terms. And that's what Tracy Banks has committed. This is demonic activity. It is currently 8:54 a.m. This is P.O.C.